Okay, so it wasn't really Halloween to start off with. It was the Saturday before Halloween. I invited my two friends over, and I'm gonna say one's name is Samantha and the other one's name is Morgan. So Samantha and Morgan and I all went to my house and we got ready and we did our makeup and we got some really cute costumes and we were all ready, we put little gems on our face and everything, and we were planning on going to this party in Everett. And if any of you are from around Seattle area, you know that Everett is kind of a sketchy place. So we were all planning on going, and my power might go out. We were all getting ready to go, and so we walk out my house, we go in the car, we start driving to the party. This was a party that I found out over Snapchat, and a couple of my friends told me about it, and they're like, oh, you should go to this party, it's gonna be super cool, super fun. So I'm driving on the freeway, it's dark, it's nighttime, then we're almost at the party and we decide to go to get McDonald's. Now this is a crucial part, even though right now it probably doesn't seem super crucial. And we got chicken nuggets and french fries. And ooh, did you see that? Ooh, okay. Anyway, we got chicken nuggets and french fries. And the chicken nuggets are our favorite things in the world. If you were to ever propose to me, the thing I want is chicken nuggets and probably Thai iced tea. So, and then I'll say yes. Otherwise I won't say yes. I'm kidding. Anyway, and so we go to this party and we're like, oh my God, I don't know if this is the right place. I don't know what's happening. And because we drove by a bunch of houses and they all looked super dead, except for there was this one house with people sitting in the front yard. And so I was like, I think that's the party. It must be more people inside or whatever. So we sit down, or I park the car across the street, a little ways down. And then we get out of the car, and then there's these two boys who pull up right next to us, and they start talking to us. And I was like, oh, hey, can you help us figure out where the party is? Can you walk us? We don't really want to be alone. We feel kind of weird, and maybe we can all work together. And the guy was like, yeah, I have a bunch of stuff in the car, because they said BYOB and whatever. So he brought a bunch of food, and he brought some other drinks, not alcoholic drinks. And so we go and walk, we drive in his car down the street to the party right in front where we think the party is, which is where all the people are sitting around in the front seat, in the front yard. And then we're talking, and we're there's no one here. There's no alcohol, there's no weed, there's no anything. And there's just a bunch of random people that we have no idea who they are, sitting in the front yard around some fire pit. And then there's a playlist happening through some speakers in the garage, and we're okay, whatever. And so we start talking to one of the guys that was helping us with the party, and his name, I'll say, is Brandon. And so Brandon, Samantha, and Morgan and I are all talking to Brandon, and we're just standing around, and then we're this is super lame, this was super dumb. So wow, there's just a bunch of dust everywhere. Okay, anyway, so as I was driving to Everett, Morgan and Samantha and I were like vaping in the car, but I wasn't really vaping because Samantha had my vape literally the entire ride there. Now from my house to Everett, it's about a half an hour at least. So we were probably at least 45 minutes in, and she was just vaping on it the entire night. Now, Samantha got her vape taken away by her boyfriend, and so she wasn't vaping a lot at the time. So when she was on my vape, she was like, it was super hardcore. Like, I don't know how to explain it. She was just on it. Like, she was not like breathing real air. Like, she was just all over the place. So she was just vaping the entire night. So then we look on our Snapchat and like, we all like notice that there's like a party in Bellevue. So we're like, yeah, let's just ditch this place at the party when we're all at the party. And we'll just go to this Bellevue party. And it said to like sit at the Kentucky Fried Chicken in Victoria to wait for some driver to come to drive us to the party. So I'm driving to Bellevue. The boys also are driving to the party. Samantha is on the vape also the entire way there. And then all of a sudden we're like sitting in the parking lot waiting for some driver to come. And the boys like text me later on and say like, oh, the party was super fun. Like, you could have just driven right up and parked right next to the house, which was kind of stupid. So we were sitting in the Kentucky Fried Chicken parking lot, and she was like, oh my God, I don't feel well. Like, Samantha was just like, oh my God, like, I just really want to see my boyfriend. And she's like talking on the phone, like crying to her boyfriend. And I was like, what the, okay, like, I'm sorry, you feel really bad. Like, and she's like, I feel super dizzy. I have a really bad headache. I feel super nauseous. And I was just like, that's what happens when you vape way too much and you have no idea, like, that, like, your body just doesn't compute that, like, vaping is, like, it just makes you dizzy and, like, nauseous and, like, headachy when it happens. So then Morgan's sitting in the back seat and we're all, like, talking, and then Samantha like gets out of the car and starts like talking to her boyfriend still. She's like crying kind of. And then so I was just like, whatever. Like, so Morgan and I call my boyfriend and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm at home. Like, do you want to come over? And I was like, yeah, this seems really lame again too. And then Samantha is like crying and like just like very upset clearly. So I drive her I was like, okay, we're just gonna go home. Like, I'm just gonna drop you off. And then Morgan and I will hang out later. So I'm driving and she lives in Bothell. So I'm driving from Bellevue to like Victoria, Bellevue to Bothell. And she keeps like talking and then she like falls asleep in the car. I feel like I'm gonna fall asleep because I'm not feeling anything. And so then I'm almost to her house. We just got off the freeway. We were stopped at a stoplight and she's like, Elise, I feel super nauseous. And I was like, do you need me to like roll the window down or do you need me to like pull over? And she was like, no, it's okay. And then a couple of cars passed me on the turning lane right next to me. And I was like, no, like, are you sure you're not gonna throw up? And then she's like, all of a sudden, like, you need to pull over. And I was like, I really literally can't pull over. And then she was like, no, I need you to pull over. And I was like, I can't pull over. There are like 5 cars next to me. And then I was like, oh no. And then she projectile vomits inside my car. It gets all over the window, all over the door, inside of the pocket of my door. Then it gets all over my windshield and just all over my passenger seat. And I was probably about 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes away from her house. And I had told her, if she felt bad, open the door. Let me pull over for you. I don't want you doing this. You could have at least opened the window. And I was like so upset. And I knew, like, I just felt so bad, but I was so upset. I literally started laughing. I'm psychotic. Like, I started laughing at the fact that she threw up inside of my car. So then what happens is I pull over next to this place I used to work at, which I may or may not tell a story time later about. And I am so like upset. I'm like, I need to like just clean everything. Like, we need to get this all out of my car right now so that then I can at least like somewhat drive her home. And so I get all of the napkins in my car. And the thing is, I have so many napkins in my car because I like have a strong belief that I'm going to spill stuff all over the inside of my car. So I had like this many napkins, like 2 piles inside of my glove box. So I'm just like wiping everything down. I'm taking my wet wipes. I'm wiping it down on top of like the window. I'm like trying to get all of the disgusting like nugget french fry vomit out of everything. I'm like trying to like wipe off the seat for her. She then is like sitting there and I'm like, do you need to throw up anymore? Because this is disgusting. And I'm laughing and she's laughing and crying as we're doing this. And I'm even laughing right now. It was so bad. And she was just like, I'm so sorry. Like, this has been holding up inside of me for like 3 months. Like, she is just off the walls bonkers. And I am just like, I just could not believe that it happened, that she puked all over my car. Like, it was all over. And so I clean everything up and then I'm like, guys, we gotta go. And as I'm standing there, I'm in a Playboy bunny costume in the middle of downtown Bothell, and there's Popkini Stadium, which is in downtown Bothell, and there's like 3 school buses packed with band kids that just drive by seeing us clean up this puke out of the car in a Playboy bunny costume. Like, I could not believe it. I was so done. So we just drive home and I drive her home. It's so bad. And so Morgan and I sit down later on and we just hang out at my boyfriend's house, and that's how the end of the night went. So yeah, if you like these kinds of story times, or if you like my story times, keep me posted down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.